I was really trying to find at least one positive about this episode, and I found it. This episode teaches us something very important. It teaches us that karma actually exists. At one point in this episode, Chocho tells Mitsuki, "You discount average looking guy," which is just a disgusting thing to tell somebody, especially because there were other people around him, Shikadai and the others, right? And later on, Tomaru makes a comment about Chocho's physical appearance, which obviously is disgusting. I'm not supporting that. He's a douchebag, but it really shows you that, since Chocho was a bitch towards Mitsuki for no reason, she got herself roasted at the end of the episode. So yeah, as I said, this episode tells us that karma exists, which is actually a very, very good lesson. Now, I don't know if this was intentional by the writers, because the writing in the past two episodes is very questionable, at some points even embarrassing. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the episode review, and I'm gonna try and keep it, short to a certain extent, because there's not much to say about this episode. We have one more episode of this arc, and yeah, let's just get into the review. Now, I need to mention something that I said in my episode 67 review. In that episode, there was this gag moment where Boruto couldn't recognize Chocho, and I was like, why did you make Boruto look like an idiot? I just thought that was stupid. And it gets even worse in this episode. Both actors couldn't recognize Chocho at the end. And it wasn't even a gag moment. They were serious. Like, they legitimately couldn't recognize Chocho, which is very stupid. And this type of writing is on a 6-year-old cartoon level, I think. Which just sucks, because if you think about it, episode 65 had one of the best fights in all of Naruto. Then you had episode 66 with one of the most satisfying, slice of life episodes in all of Naruto, with some of the greatest character interactions so far in the Boruto series. And after such two episodes, obviously that level can't be kept, because that was godly, But like, it's such a disappointment, the past two episodes. And this episode, I think, is even worse than the last one. And, just the example of, Tomaru and Ashina not recognizing Chocho, it just tells you how bad, really, the writing is at points. Because, like, it just doesn't make sense. Yes, Chocho does get a bit bigger, when she's not in her mode or whatever. But, like, it's just so stupid. Very stupid. Yeah, I just don't like that, Now, this episode, it was, I guess, I'm trying to find, the purpose of the episode, because, like, the last episode, it was the introduction to this arc, everything was set up nicely and all that, and, like, obviously the next one is going to be the last one, where, the thing with the bandit is going to be resolved, but, like, what was the purpose of this episode? Or like, I don't know, man. Now, speaking of the bandits, it's definitely possible that Tomaru is somehow involved within this incident, because even Moegi and Konohamaru speculated that there could be some insider that is giving information to this bandit, and that could very well be Tomaru. Now, I want to mention something about Tomaru and Ashina. I said this in my last episode review. Ashina as a character, I felt like she was very interesting, and I said this in my last episode review. I'd like to see her backstory, and now I want to see her backstory even more, because she put emphasis on this entire production thing. On this, I guess, I don't know if it's a series or a movie, but like, she really put a huge emphasis on it. She's like, this is very important. Obviously, I think it was stated in this episode that she's gonna leave this entire project after all of that, but something tells me that there's a huge reason why this is so important to her. And now when Tomaru said that horrible thing to Chocho at the end of the episode, I'm also interested in his backstory because, like, it would be nice. Like, let me rephrase that. Unfortunately, since we have one more episode, we're not gonna see Tomaru's backstory. We're not gonna see Ashina's backstory. Let's be honest. But it would be nice if we could just get a glimpse of Tomaru's childhood or something like that. For example, maybe he was bullied when he was a child for his looks, which is why he straight up, said such a horrible thing. Unfortunately, that's not too likely to happen. At the end of the day, he's probably just gonna be, just generic character who just decided to be a douchebag in order for Chocho to, I guess, develop, quote unquote, develop as a person. Now, I mentioned this in my last episode review, and I'm just briefly gonna say it here because I don't want to repeat myself again, but I have to repeat myself to a certain extent. I just, because my job is to review every episode of Boruto, right? Chocho, at the end of the day, this is what's gonna happen most likely. She's just gonna realize that she shouldn't be fake, which is gonna be her part of her character development, and she's gonna get back to being, this character that makes repetitive jokes and this repetitive character in general. Now, yes, that is in some way character development. Like, yeah, you learned not to be fake, but compared to some other character struggles that some of these other characters had, it just doesn't hold up in my eyes, in my opinion, I would say. Yeah. Now, this episode, let me just mention Sarah for a second. I felt like she was very enjoyable in this episode. Many times she really showed that she's a great friend to Chocho. Nothing too, like, I don't want to say anything about Boruto because, like, it felt like he wasn't there. It was funny when Inojin was like, this doesn't feel like true love, and then Tomaru and Chocho can kiss or whatever. When it comes to comedy, you guys know my opinion about Chocho's comedy and all that. Nothing changes in this episode. I felt like it was horrible. Like when she's thinking about the kiss and then she's like, after this comes the honeymoon or whatever. I just, like, I cannot describe how unfunny that is to me. And it actually does the opposite. It makes me cringe and it makes me not enjoy the episode. Like I'm like this episode gave me a mini depression. Yeah, I'm sure you can tell by my voice. Like there was this part where she was like mentioning that how she's gonna break the walls with her love or whatever. That was when the scene where Shikadai got her with his shadow. He was trying to calm down Chocho because he was angry at Mitsuki just because he knocked on the door just when Tomaru and Chocho were about to kiss, right? Which is, you can't really justify her actions because, like, she was too harsh on Mitsuki. She said that horrible thing to him, and later, Karma punched her in the face. But, yeah, I don't know. I felt like the entire drama with Chocho apparently falling in love with this guy, I feel like it's very forced. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't make me like Chocho's character because, like, before this arc started, when I was covering the spoilers, many people weren't happy because, like, these episodes, they have a fillerish vibe to them, let's be honest. And I said this back in my spoiler video, which you can check. I'm not making this up. I was like, you know what? Chocho is in a desperate need of character development. I think this makes 100% sense. Like, I don't know if I said those exact words, but that's basically what I was implying. I was like, this makes sense. And I said in that video that I'm not the biggest fan of Chocho, and I was like, maybe these episodes will make me like Chocho more. And the point is, like, people should give these episodes a chance. Do I like Chocho more after this arc? It's still not over. I'm gonna have to wait, and watch the next episode, which is episode 69, which will be the last episode of this arc. But I feel like I already predicted how it's gonna end. As I said, Chocho is just gonna realize that she shouldn't be fake, and she's gonna be back to her old repetitive self. Even though the arc didn't finish, I can predict that nothing will change about my opinion, about Chocho's character. Yeah, it's such a shame, but at the end of the day, it's just 3 episodes. Not too much, just 1 hour worth of content. Now, when you actually think about it in real life, that's actually 3 weeks, which isn't good at all. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just can't wait for this arc to be done. Yesterday I did spoilers for the next couple of episodes. If you haven't seen it, it's gonna pop up at the end screen of this video. Everything after episode 69, so episodes 70, 71, and 72, they seem to be interesting. I'm not gonna talk about them in this video. As I said, I'm gonna end this review very soon, so you can just click it at the end screen. But at the end of the day, it's just 3 episodes, okay? It's gonna be done very, very soon. The rating that I'd give to this episode, and by the way, I wasn't too detailed like I am in my other reviews, because I feel like a lot of things in this episode are just, they're not even worth reviewing. I'm just gonna straight up give you my rating, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for this episode. It's not the worst episode of the Boruto series, episode 49. Like that's definitely the worst episode of the series. But yeah, 6 out of 10 from me. Anyway, that was your boy Channel Hokage. Twitter and Discord links are in the description below. Also, link to my second channel where I talk about other anime manga will be in the description of this video. If you're new to this channel and if you're into Boruto, consider subscribing. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section of this video. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.